Those of you who have been longtime subscribers of the Databits channel have seen some really cool oddball tape formats from my channel that have appeared over the years. One of these that I've featured on my channel is the little tiny Wurlitzer jukebox that plays these little miniature tapes like you see here. Then there was Pocket Rocker, which had music on it. Both of these had music on it. And then in the 1990s, there was this Teddy Ruxpin tape used. It was introduced by Play School and was used in a different version than the cassette version of the Teddy Ruxpin talking doll. And this tape had a music and dialogue program on it. So again, these are oddball formats that use endless loop tape in little tiny cartridges. So the more familiar format that you guys are probably familiar with is the 8-track cartridge. Now the 8-track cartridge got us through the 70s and through disco and all kinds of cool rock and roll. And we were able to play these tapes in our cars and enjoy music on the go in a convenient cartridge system. The most important feature that this would have is that the tape would be eaten by your cartridge player in the car and get stuck in there and get to the point where it was destroyed and was unusable anymore. It was very, very cool, very easy to use and fun to play with. Back in the 1960s, before that endless loop system came out, we had another endless loop system called the 4-track tape. The 4-track, also known as a Muntz 4-track stereo tape cartridge. You can see that on my channel as well. I featured a really cool player and recorder on my channel. You can just search Databits and 4-track cartridge. In any case, this cartridge got us through the 1960s and brought us the convenience of tape playback in your automobile or in your home. Okay? Now there's another format that you may be familiar with if you've been a subscriber for a long time, is a cartridge like this one. And it was known as the playtape format. And playtape also used an endless loop cassette size tape cartridge. So just so you can see the different sizes here, I'll go ahead and put them together on the same frame here. So all different sizes of cartridges, but again, all of these systems using a 8-track style playback system where you have an endless loop of tape on the inside. And obviously the bigger the cartridge is, the longer the content of the cartridge. The smaller, then typically, the shorter the content was on the cartridge. Well, I'm going to show you a twist, not on this format, or this one, or this one, or this one, but a format similar to this one, the playtape. That format is called the mail call. Not M-A-L-E, but M-A-I-L, call. And mail call is a playback recording system all its own. In fact, I'm going to let it introduce itself to you.
Hello everyone, this is the Smith Corona mail call system. This system uses endless loop cartridge tapes that have cassette-sized tape inside of them to send electronic messages to people all over the world. For example, you and your friend purchase a mail call recorder, both of you. You could make a recording on your mail call system, send the cartridge to your friend who would listen to the tape, and then re-record over the tape with their response to your message. Now, when I was getting ready to make this recording for you and put this video on YouTube, I needed to find a tape. I had the mail call recorder, but I did not have a tape to use in it for making a recording. So I had the idea. I would do some research, and my research discovered that the tape cartridge in this system is actually the same tape cartridge used in the Dictaphone ansaphone answering machine, made in the 1970s. When I purchased one of those machines and got the 20-second cartridge with it, I realized that 20 seconds isn't a whole lot of time to record any kind of an introduction. So I needed more tape. So I went out to the internet, and believe it or not, playtape which is a music system from the 1960s, is the exact same kind of cartridge. So the mail call, the playtape, and the Dictaphone ansaphone answering machine all use the same tape cartridge. So when I went to eBay to find a tape cartridge, one of those playtape tapes, I saw that they were $10 and up. And I was like, okay, I'm not paying $10 for a playtape. I mean, I got rid of my playtape system simply because the quality was so awful. I was not impressed at all. So I decided, well, why don't I just see if there's another tape cartridge system that I could pull some tape out of? Because you can't just take cassette tape and put it inside an endless loop system. It has to be thick tape and it has to be lubricated. Well, I discovered that the Teddy Ruxpin talking doll from the 1990s also used an endless loop tape cartridge system with cassette-sized tape inside. So instead, I bought one of those. So then, I took the tape out of the Teddy Ruxpin cartridge and put it inside this Dictaphone ansaphone cartridge to be used in the mail call system to make this recording. It also required quite a bit of re-engineering of the cartridge to get it to work. The felt pads on the front of the tape had to be replaced, and there was some issues with the cartridge. I guess there's quite a bit of physics involved in this actually working smoothly, because I had to work with different size of felt pads to get it to work properly. So there's the story of how this tape came to be. Now let's talk a little bit about the system itself. On the front of the system, which looks like something from 2001: A Space Odyssey, you'll see a selector switch. The selector switch shows you listen, off, and talk. Listen is for playback, which is where the system is sitting now. Off, of course, turns it off. Talk is the record mode. You can put it in talk mode, but then you still have to press the recording button located just above the volume control. And of course, there is a volume control that allows you to control the volume of your recordings. Now, when I made this recording, I plugged a microphone into the front of the unit. You can do the same with yours, or you can actually make recordings into the built-in speaker. So the speaker doubles as your microphone. And in actuality, when you do playback with a microphone plugged in, the sound comes back out the microphone. So then again, your microphone becomes a loudspeaker as well. Kind of interesting. The tape appears to be running at 3 3/4 inches per second. It is still using the original belt. I did not replace the belt inside, even though it looks a little bit wobbly in there. So, before I go any further, I'd like to show you some footage where we took the Teddy Ruxpin tape and took the tape out of that cartridge and put it inside the Dictaphone ansaphone cartridge, which is being played back now. I wanted to play a little bit of footage of what that cartridge looks like that the Teddy Ruxpin tape came out of, because that gave us quite a bit more recording time than what we did with our 20-second tape that we got from the answering machine. So let's play that for you now.
This is the Teddy Ruxpin cartridge tape from 1992. And here's the inside of the Teddy Ruxpin cartridge. As you can see, it's a familiar design. It looks like the supply comes from the left side of the reel versus the right side of the reel, which you'll see inside of an 8-track tape. And here, of course, is that Teddy Ruxpin tape inserted into this cartridge. And again, it's a Dictaphone cartridge. And you may think, wow, I can't believe you actually bought an entire Dictaphone just to get this cartridge. And it had to have been more expensive than an actual tape. Actually, I got the Dictaphone for $15, and one of these play tapes was going to cost me $13. So I figured, go back to that antique mall and get that Dictaphone. So again, there's the tape in there. And one of the things that I had to do to modify it was there is a pinch roller here attached to a rocker arm. And I found that as the tape would roll through there, the tape would, because of the force of the spring that was on the back of that rocker arm, and here's the original spring, it's a very hefty spring, because of that spring being on there, it would just kind of make the tape roll out. So what I did is I super glued this rocker arm, made it stationary instead of moving in and out, and that fixed that problem. And then the other issue I had is like the tape wouldn't move, and I'd be shoving the cartridge in and it wouldn't move. So I had to keep trimming down these felt pads that I put in there till I got them to the right size. Now you're saying, what did you use for a felt pad? Well, you know what's funny? I actually used foam from the underside of this device here to put as the pressure foam. So I cut off a piece of this foam that's glued to the underside of the battery cover that keeps the batteries from moving around. So I used some of that. So it's a nice, very cushy, soft foam, and it did the job. Good grief. I didn't realize engineering was so much a part of playing with these things. So here is the unit taken apart, open. Here is that microphone plug that we talked about on the tape. Here's the back of your selector switch. Here's your volume control. Here's your drive motor. 4 C batteries, equating to 6 volts of power. We've got some heads in here. Now again, I'm not sure if these heads are, if maybe this one's the record head, this one's the playback head. That could be the case. It does appear to have some kind of a solenoid or relay system, whereas there may have been foil on the tape that stopped the tape when it got back around to the beginning again. And I'll show you that relay here in a second. Here is a little switch that's activated when the tape cartridge is inserted. So you have to have it in play mode, and the switch has to be activated. This switch was dirty. I had to clean it. There was no power going through because of corroded contacts in there. So again, the pinch roller, and I lied to you. After I made that tape, I did replace the belt. And the belt is down inside of there. You'll see it. Here is the flywheel with a newer belt. It may not be a brand new belt, but it has a newer belt on it. So again, a little DC motor there. Swing around here to the front, and you'll see this awesome subwoofer made by Pioneer that's been inserted in here. There it is, Pioneer. It's a whole, what is it, 4 ohms? Yeah, no, it looks like 40 ohm actually. 0.2 watts. Made in Japan. This entire unit's made in Japan actually. This is the relay that I have a feeling has something to either do with recording switching, the recording mode switch, or it is a stop system for when the tape senses the foil, or the sensor senses the foil on the tape. And there's your amplifier circuitry right there. Did not have to replace any capacitors in this unit. They were ready to go. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they used quality components back in the day to make this thing. Very, very nice. So again, it's a heavy-duty construction. You got a shell here for where the tape cartridge goes in, but this part down here is metal, and it brings some weight to the unit. So there again, that's the inside there. And here's what it looks like with the cover put back on. There were 6 screws I had to remove. There's 2, 4, 6. And then there is a, I guess like a carrying strap thingy right here. So I don't know about you, but I've never heard of the Smith Corona Electronics Corporation. I do know of the Smith Corona Typewriter Company, because my parents had a Smith Corona typewriter when I was growing up. Brown and white. My mom did a lot of typing on that particular unit. So there we go. Made in Japan and produced under precision standards in Japan. So this pretty well gives you the overview of this particular unit. And I'll make a video about the answering machine as well. Apparently that ansaphone answering machine that this cartridge came from, with a whole lot less tape in it, was used on the show The Rockford Files, and so I'll make a video of that as well for you to see. So again, thank you for watching. I hope this was informative and educational for you, and I hope you'll subscribe and share this video with all of your nerdy friends. I've already shared it with all of my nerdy friends, which are all of you guys, and of course nerd is a compliment, because you got to be a nerd to like this kind of stuff, right? We're proud. We're the few, we're the proud, we're the nerds. Anyway, thanks for watching. Share with a friend. Leave a comment below. And click that like button 150 times. Don't click the dislike button. There's somebody who gets on these videos and just clicks it twice. I don't know who that person is, but it's like every video I make gets 2 dislikes. I don't know. Now you're probably going to click dislike, aren't you? No, don't do it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. This Data Bits video was brought to you by Playtape, who actually stuck their logo on the bottom of the battery cover. There it is. Playtape. Patent pending.